Put that over there. See that. And just to make sure that we're live. Just loading things up, guys. Won't be a mo. There we go, we're live. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, good stuff. Hi guys, welcome back to The Longest Journey. Yeah, sorry about the immediate exit last time around. I did try to explain myself with text on the screen before it happened, but yeah, wasn't feeling too great. So anyway, we'll finish off this chapter and we'll do a bit of chapter 3. I can't remember quite what happens in the third chapter. Don't remember it being... I actually don't remember a lot of it. But like past chapter 2 is around about where the full stop happens in my brain. For this, so
what you
we'll keep
saw,
going for a bit.
You were not alone this time. There were others. And they saw the same thing.
Let me do this.
Not nightmares anymore. Real. The first sign of the damage chaos can do. The divide is being breached. It is not yet time for the worlds to be united. A breach could prove catastrophical.
Who are you really, Cortez?
Who are you really, Cortez?
Excuse me?
People knew you over there in Arcadia. Tobias. He didn't know you by your real name, but he did know you. And Mr. Westhouse, he knew you too, as Chavez, but several hundred years ago.
So my secrets are being revealed, are they?
I wouldn't say that,
They
because you're
certainly
still
are.
a mystery to me. More so.
Good. You see, señorita, mystery is important. To know everything, to know the whole truth is dull. There is no magic in that. Magic is not knowing. Magic is wondering about what and
I don't
and
consider
how
that
and
to be an
where.
excuse.
I'd settle for the truth, just to be able to know you.
Yeah.
Because, honestly, I don't mean this in a bad way. You scare me, Cortez. I'm afraid of you.
And you are not the only one, mi amiga. I'm sorry, but whatever it is about me that mystifies you, it will have to stay a secret. There are things even you should not know.
Gee, thanks. That really helped.
Perdóname. Perhaps later, when we are certain of what the future holds, okay? I think I can promise you that, Señorita Ryan. Later. But for now, we must speak of more important matters.
You helped me back, didn't you?
To shift? See? The power is yours, yes? But for now, you need me to focus your powers to call forth your dreams.
Dreams?
Yes. To travel from one world to the next, you must pass through the world of dreams. It is the only way. You are capable of opening a shift on your own, but you might not be able to.
What do you mean?
The power, the magic is within you. And when you sleep, sometimes you open the portal without even being aware of it. But when you're awake, it's more difficult. With practice, you will do it.
I don't think I want to do it.
You must. The worlds depend on it.
So what do I do?
We must work together, April. I can't do it alone, and neither can you.
But what exactly is it that we have to do?
4 things. We must find the Lost Guardian, we must locate the gateway to his realm, and the disc that is the key to his tower, and we must do what we can to curtail and defeat the Vanguard.
Sounds like a plan.
How are we going to find the Guardian?
Yeah, how are we going to find this Guardian?
The moment he surrendered his throne and left his realm, he stepped back into our world, This world, Stark. This is where he was born, and so this is where he must return to.
But he could be anywhere, right?
This city has power, April. Not magic, but the opposite of magic. And it draws people to it like flies to an open fire. All the pieces of the puzzle come together here. You, me, the Vanguard, the Guardian. I can guarantee you that he's here. But where exactly, I do not know. I think maybe the Vanguard do. I think they may have him.
If they have him, how are we going to get him back? And why do they need him? Why do we need him?
He left his realm, but he's the last Guardian. And only he can open the doorway back to his realm to let his successor through. The Vanguard knows this. But what they don't know, yet, is how to get there.
Right. So, it's really intriguing to me, right, with something like this, because if I was to ever... something that I have yet to do with this game, or with this series so far, is look at this in, like, more of a critical aspect, and it's something that normally happens quite naturally whenever I play a game. I mean, I couldn't get through a single episode of Little Big Planet without breaking into it, but with this, I think the thing is, right, we're judging the puzzles and the narrative, because mechanically it's straightforward. Mechanically it's like your run-of-the-mill point and click. I don't think that there's anything that's too unique about this in that regard. It's more about the context influences how you interact with the world. So the narrative and the interactivity which you have with the narrative sort of go together, if that makes sense. Now, the issue with actually reviewing something like this is you have to comb every single piece of information, because you can't guarantee that someone's going to click through every single dialogue box. But at the same time, if you're missing information narratively, then who do you blame in that circumstance? Do you blame the player for not going through every single dialogue box? Or do you blame the game because it might not contain said information? In which case, it's weird, right? Because there's a certain amount of information that you have to have on board mentally when you go through something like this. And at the same time, you're not going to be able to retain everything. There is a lot of stuff going on here. Like, I feel like I'm getting a full, like, a wiki page of lore being blasted into my face whenever I click on any dialogue option. And now, that's not to say that the execution of this is poor. I just think it's very easily overwhelming to people who are uninitiated with the genre, right? Because you've got several types of point-and-click adventure games that don't really do as much in detail as this game does, which means that you could probably leave this game in a positive world. You could probably leave this game thinking to yourself, oh shit, I really understood everything that's going on. I'm so glad it went into so much detail, because when I left it, I got a really fulfilling and satisfying conclusion to everything that I'd learned up to that point. At the same time, you might feel a little lost, like you overlooked something. And if there's this much dialogue and this much to uncover in this game, then it's always going to be really complicated for the player to not make the narrative superficial, if that makes sense. Not to skin it down to its bare bones and go, oh yes, it's a story about good and evil. Like, yes, when you strip it away, sure, it could be seen as that, but every aspect of writing a narrative like this matters, and if it doesn't add up, or if there's a contradiction with a piece of dialogue, with a later piece of dialogue, then how aware is the player going to be of that? And I guess, I don't know. It's awkward, right? because I've taken on board a lot of information. I understand the more superficial aspects of the narrative, the more bare bones stuff, but it's very easy to get caught up in the colours of the fireworks and forget that, you know, and not realise that they're, I don't know, where they're coming from. I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I'm paying attention to the law in the background and all this sort of stuff, and my brain's like, okay, I've got the information on board. That doesn't necessarily mean that the information makes sense. The idea of the Guardian being the person that, it's like the overseer, the watcher between realms, got that on board. The idea that this is done by using discs, almost, that represent these let's just call them worlds. Yep, got that on board as well. Okay, cool. How the worlds broke off, I understand that. I understand why Stark isn't aware of Arcadia. Cool. That's all. Like, I've got that. That's in my noggin. I understand. But what a lot of people are going to do is, because they get given all this information, they'll stop asking why, and they'll just accept it. And that's something that I think that when it comes to games like this, people really need to stop doing. Because if you don't ask why, then all of the effort that the game puts into certain key bits of information that you're picking up as you go, a lot of the general storytelling, like, who gives a shit about the quality in that case, you know? Who gives a shit about the effort put into it in that case? Like, no, you need to be asking why, so that way you can keep up with it, so that way you can be like, I appreciate the effort that's gone into this, or, I see where you've cut some corners here. Hopefully that makes sense. Because now at this point, we've got a lot of game to go. So my noggin is in a place right now where I'm going, okay, I understand all of this sort of stuff, but where did magic come from? What's the distinction between magic and technology? Like, the hard distinction between magic and technology, because I haven't gotten that yet. And people can't just say, well, you know, magic is just a form of technology that we do not yet understand, in which case it's still technology, we just don't understand it. So the distinction between Arcadia and Stark doesn't really make that much sense. Also, how is Arcadia reacting to the existence of Stark? If Arcadia is filled with people, a civilization of its own form of, like, humanity that are just there, then how are they reacting to the fact that Stark is a thing that exists? There's a whole other parallel world out there that doesn't know a single thing about them because they faded into obscurity on the other side. Have they not thought to take advantage of this, to manipulate it? Why is there not a war between realms going on? That seems like something that should be on the cards. Also, Arcadia have kept themselves back really hard when it comes to the curiosity of Stark itself, and I get that that's because they need shifters, but it's not like if they're aware that shifters are a thing, then surely there is another shifter out there to provide this information. Otherwise, that would go into obscurity on their side as well. It's a bit mental. It's a bit mad.
Who'd know about the gateway to the Guardian's realm?
That I do not know. That knowledge wouldn't be here in Stark. You must go to Arcadia, study the books, talk with the minstrel and others who might know, but not yet. First, we must finish our mission here.
Where's the key to the Guardian's realm?
In Arcadia. The key contains two parts. One is the disc itself, the other is the 4 jewels, the eyes of the dragons. That gives the disc the properties of the balance and makes it complete.
Where is the disc?
The disc was left in the care of the Sentinel 10,000 years ago. In the beginning, it was kept in the open, displayed for all to see. But not anymore. Not since thieves tried to make away with it. They will know where it is. Ask Tobias, Vestrum Tobias.
Where are the 4 jewels?
Ah, the eyes of the dragons. They are kept by the 4 dragons themselves. 2 in Arcadia and 2 in Stark. The white dragon has 1, as does the old one. These you must find yourself. I'll help you with the others.
How do we defeat the Vanguard?
The Vanguard are strong here and growing stronger. Even in Arcadia, they are gaining a foothold. And with the tyrant on a leash, the future looks quite bleak.
How do you know so much about what's going on in Arcadia?
Voices whisper in my ear, señorita. Voices that I trust.
You're saying the Vanguard are strong here. How come I haven't heard about them?
They don't go by that name here. Did you ever hear of the Church of Voltec?
Sure, they're... Oh, that's the Vanguard?
See?
Then they're big, very big. But why do they... Why assume a different name here?
In Arcadia, they flaunt their philosophy. They preach the destruction of the balance under the pretense of returning humankind to the glories of the past. Here, they cannot do that. So they have integrated themselves slowly but surely into society under the subterfuge of the New Age religion. And they've built a financial empire to match governments.
They have that much money?
The Vanguard own multinational companies. They own planets, April. They own armies. All they need is the balance, and they will own everything. The twin worlds will be at their mercy.
So, we basically don't stand a chance, do we? Against an enemy like that.
If we hold at bay the forces of chaos, and if we ensure the natural continuation of the Guardian's role within the balance, then they will have lost.
How are we supposed to fight this chaos you keep talking about?
You're the key, April. You have the power to shift, yes, but there's more to you than that. You are a child of the balance, and no, that will have to wait. By just being alive, you counter chaos. Without you, last night might have turned out much worse. That tiny breach might have been permanent.
I didn't do anything.
Then imagine the power you wield when you really do something. Trust me on this, amiga. It's instinctive to you to fight chaos. You see it so clearly, and you will know what to do. You are most needed in Arcadia, where chaos is a part of reality. The tidal wave will hit there first, and unless it's subdued before it hits Stark full force, we'll never stand a chance. So you will have to travel to Arcadia after we are done here.
Okay, so that's it? Kick some Vanguard ass, find the Guardian, locate the entrance to his realm, and a 10,000-year-old disc and 4 Dragon Eye jewels? And oh, April, make sure you do battle with the physical manifestations of chaos along the way, because hey, that's your destiny. It's impossible, Cortez. I can't do these things. I'm 18, I'm an artist. No, not even that, I'm nobody. You can't place all these responsibilities on my shoulders. I can't carry that much.
I will help you, April. Others too, you're not alone.
Well, I feel very alone, and I can't even tell anybody about this. Yeah, hi, how are you? I'm the Chosen One. Can you help me save the world from evil and chaos?
There is no chosen one, April. There are only those who would and those who wouldn't. You have a choice between the two.
You said I had powers, that I wasn't like everybody else.
True, but you still have a choice. Prophecies can never unravel the will of a single human. You are one of many possible paths, but unfortunately, most of the alternative paths have been blocked by circumstances beyond our control. The world does depend on you, but you have not been chosen. You choose for yourself what you are and what you will be.
then the choice will have to be, yes, let's save the
I don't
world.
think there's any point in asking what will happen.
Where do we
if
start?
we say no, the world will just be destroyed.
Here, in Newport. We must find out about the Vanguard. Their headquarters are in this city, but where? Do they have the Guardian under lock and key? What are their weaknesses? Once we've done that, you must travel to Arcadia. I cannot go there, and besides, I have things to take care of here.
Right. Except, where the hell do I go to find out about the Vanguard? The library? The net?
Valuable information is hard to find. Remember the painting I showed you yesterday?
Sure.
The artist, a boy named Warren. I told you about him, yes? Warren is involved in a lot of activities that aren't exactly legal. He has connections. He can point us in the right direction.
All right, okay. Where do I find him?
My friend, Father Raul at the Hope Street Cathedral, he's had some contact with the boy lately. Ask him.
Wait, did you say Hope Street?
Yes?
As in the most dangerous neighborhood in Newport?
Is it? I don't usually follow the civic affairs of the city. I remember Hope Street when they first built it, a clean neighborhood.
That must have been a very long time ago.
Still, I'm sure you'll be safe. You're a girl, no? A self-respecting gentleman would never harm a girl.
It's the self-respecting gentleman part I'm concerned about. Still, I can handle myself. Father Raul, was it? At the Hope Street Cathedral?
Yes. He will lead you in the right direction. Help you find Warren Hughes. When you're done tomorrow, we will meet up at the cathedral late in the afternoon. I need to speak with Raul as well.
Okay, good. It's a plan then?
Enjoy yourself tonight, April. Who knows what the future may hold? Good night.
Right. First things first. Okay. Oh, it's still daytime. Oh, I see. Right, okay, first things first. Yep. Just gonna skip this real quick. Next time you promise to go on a date with Zach Lee, bring somebody along. Put a bullet for you. Okay. Oh my god, right. I get it. It's a lot of information to recap. Okay. So I think we've got a choice here, right? We either go to the courtyard or to the cafe. Right? I don't want to accidentally initiate the date with Zach because I don't want to do that. Because I seem to remember that, like, most chapters, this is one of the things that I do generally remember from way back when. Most chapters had, like, an optional ending that you can do. And the first time around, I did Zach. Then I later learned that you could have just gone to the cafe instead.
Pulling long hours today, Charlie?
Unfortunately, yeah. Are you staying for the show tonight?
What show?
You don't know who's playing?
I've had a few other things on my mind these past few days, Charlie. Sorry. Anybody good?
Anybody good? Are you kidding? Roy and Dale's playing. It's the first gig on their new tour. Sort of returning to their roots before they do the big venues.
Tonight? Great, that's perfect. Especially tonight. I need some serious unwinding.
Yeah? What's up?
Oh my god.
I just had the weirdest experience of my life.
Weirder than last night?
Who told you about last night?
Fiona. And I told her about what happened here.
What do you mean? What happened here?
You don't know? It was another one of those weirdest things ever incidents. But it sounds so much like what happened to you guys. It happened around 11 last night. I was behind the bar.
Good. So
I
it's gonna be
couldn't
easy to
see
explain
how
to
it
people.
started. But when the music changed, something, it wasn't human or not like any human I've ever seen, appeared, materialized from the jukebox. It was playing an instrument. And at first, it didn't seem to notice anyone. Then, when it did, it suddenly disappeared again. I mean, everyone saw it. Everyone. And everyone was just staring at the jukebox. And then at each other. And then things sort of returned to normal again. It was like they all chose to block it out. It was really scary.
That sounds like what happened back at the house last night.
Oh.
But Charlie, it could have been... I don't know, mass suggestion or perhaps gas rapture, even a hologram.
Why is that easier to accept than the alternatives?
You mean that we're all going
Yes.
crazy? Or that something really is happening? Like an opening between dimensions and stuff's leaking through. You'd rather believe that?
I believe there's more things under the sky than science can explain. To me,
boy.
that's a better
He gets
explanation.
pats.
I can accept the mystery.
Charlie, I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to believe anymore.
So what's this thing you were gonna tell me about the weirdest experience of your life?
You wouldn't believe me anyway,
Well, you can
Charlie.
tell him, right?
Try me.
No, really, I can't. It's too much, too close. I don't know if I believe it myself.
Okay. You tell me about it later then, all right?
Maybe. Is Emma around?
Haven't seen her. But she knows about the show, so she'll be here.
When does the concert start?
In less than an hour. I expect the place to be crowded soon. So you should find yourself a spot to sit down.
Thanks, Charlie.
No problem. Later.
Let's do it. Screw it. Oh, it's just automatic. Hey.
So where have you been all day? You didn't show up at school, you weren't at work, and then Fiona tells me you're out looking for Cortez again, and on top of that, Zach brags about bagging a date with you. What's up with that?
Oh, shit! Zach! I totally forgot. He's gonna kill me. If I don't show up, that is.
You mean it's true? You have a date with that asshole? I told him he was full of shit.
I needed some information.
And you sell yourself to get it? April, you're insane. Well,
Thank
you're just going to have
you.
to disappoint him.
I made a promise.
To that sleazebag? That's a promise made to be broken.
You're right. I'm staying here.
Good girl. Now, there are a couple guys you should keep an eye open for tonight.
Me?
I have a boyfriend. You need a boyfriend. You need a boyfriend because I have one and I need somebody to compare boyfriends with. It's not your choice to make, girl. It's just the natural order of things.
I thought we were here to listen to the band.
Sure, from the back, so we can scope out guys' asses.
I don't know which place is weirder, Mercuria or the Fringe Cafe on any given night.
Mark what?
Never mind. So,
Yeah.
okay, which guys are we looking for?
Right. Now, you may want to take notes.
Awesome. Chapter 3.
Oh,
Mom.
God. Headache. I didn't really have that much to drink, did I? No. But I did travel through a shift into a parallel universe, which would explain this weird compulsion to curl up into a fetal position and go back to sleep. Not that I'm particularly looking forward to it, But I guess I have to go find that Warren guy Cortez told me about down on Hope Street. And hey, like that's not enough. I have to avoid bumping into Zack today. He's probably royally pissed that I stood him up, and Zack's very good at being pissed.
Right, so here's what I think I'm gonna do. I'm gonna save up real quick. And I think I'm gonna call it there. I know this has only been going for half an hour. But I like my original idea was kind of to fit every chapter into a video of its own. And I don't want to break that. I know that I have like just done I split the end of chapter 2 off, and technically that's the third part. What I might do is I might rename these videos to be chapter appropriate, but it is largely just that way. I have an end goal for each session, and I can just chill when I'm doing it as well. You know, we go as long as the chapters go on for, basically. And it means that when the chapter ends, I have to give myself a break, which is very important to me. But, yeah. Plus, I don't have the energy to do an entire chapter at the moment. I barely remember. So when I say that, like, I only remember up to chapter 2, that's bang on. Like, I remember bits about what happens afterwards. I remember going underwater at one point. I just can't remember at which point in the game that happened at, but something to do with like mermaids or something like that. Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there. But yeah, we'll continue this for sure. But for the time being, I'm gonna take a break. We'll talk a little bit about the game before I go though. Just that way there's more content to this than just it being a half an hour one and done. So because with this being the third chapter, once we get through this, I think that there's 10 chapters after this. I seem to remember there being like 13 chapters or something like that. I'll look it up in a bit. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about this game so far. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I really am. It's a point-and-click game that is using logic in a way that other point-and-click games that I've played haven't really. At some point, we might cover something like Dracula Origins to sort of point out a game that I think has a lot of what's the word? It's got a lot of potential, but it sort of falls under the weight of trying to be too clever for its own good. There are point-and-click adventure games out there that are what are commonly called pixel hunters, and by that it means that in order to proceed you have to start clicking everywhere around the screen to find out what's going on. This is very self-explanatory with how it works. If you got an item like this, that means that you can look at something. An item like this means that you can interact. You've got your inventory up here, options that displays everything. If you're a bit lost, you've got a conversation log. Yeah, look at this. We can go for all this sort of stuff. It's good. It's good. Even a little video replay as well. So along with the diary to catch up on things. So it's really hard to get lost in terms of knowing what to do next and what you should be doing. Realistically, we should have asked
The watch is ticking.
about this. But that's fine for the time being. We still got the flute as well and all this sort of stuff, so I'm really intrigued to see how all this comes together. But so far there has been a use for everything, which is good stuff, real good stuff. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this unfolds. But yeah, I haven't like had to crack my head against a brick wall in order to sort of proceed. Everything's just sort of unveiled naturally, and I really approve of that. It's just about knowing what you've got on you at the time and what your end goal is. And you can generally move forward first. It's also about knowing to talk to people multiple times in order to get events to happen. because this is one of those games where sure that a world event won't happen unless you talk to someone enough times about it. And that bugs the shit out of me. What game was it recently? Oh, Souls games. Souls games where you have to talk to everyone repeatedly, over and over and over again about a very specific topic in order to get something to happen, even though you already know about the topic through someone else. So it's awkward, but at the very least we're getting more information out of it that way. But yeah, I'm genuinely enjoying this. I would like to write up something about this game. I would, but once again, it's going to require me to go through every single dialogue option to find every little secret, and it'll basically get to a point where I don't know if I'll actually enjoy playing the game anymore. Having that, as Cortez said before, having the mystery makes things more appealing. Knowing that there are things out there in this game that I've yet to unmask and unveil, that is the allure to coming back to it multiple times. So I think I will leave it that way. But yeah, anyway, I've been DuskySnow. I'll see you guys tomorrow where we will do chapter 3. And who knows what else, depending on how long